Hey guys, welcome to the Modern Classroom Introduction assignment. This is 0.1 video notes. So you actually don't have to take any notes unless you think you might forget some of these things, because you will need to know all the information from the slideshow for your mastery check. Okay, so first, we're going to learn a little about the Modern Classroom, how we learn it, what's the point of it, why it's important. Okay, so first of all, Modern Classroom has three main parts. Okay, it's a blended, self-paced, mastery-based classroom. Blended is a mix of teacher help, classmates, paperwork, and online learning. So on a given day, you will never just only do paper assignments every day. I like to mix things up. You might go work at a whiteboard with a small group, or by yourself. You might work on an online assignment, on an IXL, Wayground, or Delta Math. It just really all depends. So you have a really nice mix. Self-paced is exactly what it sounds like. You work at your own pace. You could be one skill ahead. You could be two skills behind. It just kind of depends. You might leave the classroom finishing your skill or not finishing your skill, which is really nice because you don't have the stress of walking in the next day feeling like you're moving on when you're not ready. So it's super important that you are trying to stay on pace, but also take a deep breath because you have time to catch up. Mastery-based learning. You do not move on unless you master the skill. That's what's really nice. You should feel super confident going into a mastery check. You can revise, practice, and then retake until you've shown you have mastered it. Now, self-paced means you have a path and you work responsibly through it. You're supposed to complete it in order. There's some things where you can skip, like the should do, but you go top to bottom, completing all the must-dos. And then you aim for mastery, not completion. The idea is that you aim for mastery, not just finishing something because you want to check it off your list or earn miles. Your goal should always be mastery. Here's the flow, which is also located on a bulletin board in my classroom. Okay, we will always start with the must do, then mastery check if you're ready. But if you're not ready, notice the arrow goes to should do. After the should do, you should 100% be feeling confident for that mastery check. But if you're not, you can always complete extra problems in the must do or the should do. Okay, after the mastery check is completed, you may fail. If you fail, you have to go the redemption route, which is always redemption practice on Canvas. Okay, and then if you do the redemption practice, you should feel confident to do the retake, which could be online or in paper. But ultimately, you either pass the retake or you pass the mastery check, and that leads to lesson complete. Once your lesson is complete, you get to ask for your miles, and you get to move on to the next skill. And then, of course, there might be some Aspire to-dos built in within the lessons, so pay attention to that so you do not lose any points in the Aspire to-do category. Now, these are the main things again. Your must do, okay? Required learning steps to feel confident for the skill, notes, practice, okay? And then should do's could be online, they could be paper as well. They give you extra reassurance and confidence to pass the mastery check. Mastery checks are short quizzes. They either are paper or online, and they will show mastery in the skill that you are tackling that day. In order to move on to the next skill, you have to achieve mastery on the mastery check. Aspire to-dos are challenge opportunities for students who have time, want to stretch their thinking, prepare for Algebra 1 next year, or even just learn more. This is a grade breakdown. Mastery checks fall in the category of classwork. 40% of your grade comes from classwork. 55% are quizzes and assessments or tests, and then 5% Aspire to-dos. So if you only complete classwork and tests, the most amount of points or percentage that you can earn in my classroom is a 95%. That's assuming you get 100% on all classwork and assessments. So you should 100% attempt Aspire to-dos. Now, proving what you know, mastery checks. During a mastery check, you have to work by yourself. If you do not, you risk losing mileage due to mastery disruption or integrity. You do not help others complete mastery checks. That is cheating and it's academic dishonesty. Okay, I have to know what each and every student knows and masters, or else I can't do my job. Now, unless given permission, you cannot use any notes or resources on a mastery check, and you must use the testing location, which is either at the front of my room or the two tables at the front of my room. Now, I may allow you to do it at your seat, but you have to have specific permission to do that. As soon as you finish a mastery check, you have to come see me. Okay, come show me your score, show me your paper mastery check so I can grade it and tell you if you passed or not. And then you can update your tracker at your seat. Now, if you are told to revise your mastery check or because you didn't pass it, that means that you need to take that feedback in and go review your notes, review your must do, go do the should do. It kind of depends. I might tell you what to do when I tell you to revise. I'll tell you exactly what you should do, but that is giving you an opportunity to remaster it, or not to remaster, but to master the skill before attempting the retake. Before you pass it, the mastery check, you're going to have a 0 in the grade book if you don't pass it first try, and that's okay. I will change it as soon as you master the skill. Now, where do all your paper stuff and notes go? They will always go in your binder behind the correct tab divider. Now, your math notebook, when anytime you don't have video notes for an assignment, you should take notes in your math notebook, primarily for Aspire to-dos. Being organized makes self-paced learning very feasible and easy to manage. Make sure you're using your binder. Now, what if you're stuck on a skill or falling behind? You need some extra help. Well, I would always recommend reviewing notes first, then ask a classmate for help, and then ask me. So notes first, review the material, ask a classmate, then you can ask me for help. Make sure you're being very specific with your questions so classmates can help, and me as well. Also, use your time wisely. A lot of students fall behind because they're not using their time wisely, or they're falling behind because they're not using the class time to the fullest of their ability. Okay, so do your notes, get started right away in class, ask questions, and make sure you are doing everything in the right order. And remember, no help on a mastery check. That is your opportunity to show that you have mastered the skill, no one else. Now, also, these are just kind of general reminders that, like, in order to be successful in this learning model, you also have to be responsible, right? You open Canvas, you check your tracker right away, you follow the steps in the right order. Being respectful, let classmates focus, respectful to yourself, let yourself focus, don't disrupt others. Being safe and being kind, using materials correctly, encouraging others who need help or who are not following directions. Now, ultimately, guys, before you do your quiz, you should be able to answer these 3 questions. Go ahead and pause the video. If you don't think you could answer these questions, I would go back and review this video. All right, guys, you should be ready for the mastery check, but if you are not, check out the should do. And good luck with the rest of your lesson, guys.